it hurts.
Now to Sean Townsend, who's been as good as a 9.5 and as low as an 8.325.
Just a good event for Sean. Very powerful. A lot of upper body strength.
Sean trying to keep pace with guard Young and Morgan Hamm.
A little bit high on that cross. He'll get at least a couple tenths off. He did not come to this competition hoping to be fighting for a bronze, and that is exactly what he's doing.
He was actually quite psyched at the fact that Blaine was back in the competition. Paul Hamm really wanted the challenge of winning a second national title.
That's nice. That's nice.
Nice, but not great. Blaine Wilson gets a 9.525 for his score on parallel bars.
How's that drama for you, Tim? Is it working for you?
It's working, Blaine.
Build a show around it?
Yeah, we can build it. We just need to keep your elbows straight on that stutz, Blaine. And actually, that was a great set up until there. Better than night one.
Sean gets a 9.2. What is going on with you and Blaine Wilson
Tim's
here?
always giving him a hard time.
Talking trash, just a little bit of trash.
Does he think you're creating drama where there is none?
No, I don't think that. I don't think that comes into play at all.
We go to Paul Hamm.
Now this young man completely changed paths about 6 months ago on parallel bars. Total different elements being combined together. Very big combination. Most of the athletes get their bonus points from doing giant swing work below the bars, and that's how Paul started this quadrennium off, going the typical route, and the grip just wasn't there. Always felt like he was slipping, and this is gonna get a very, very big score.
Elfie, did you know this was a quadrennium?
Yes, I did.
I can't catch a break today.
Well, very positive detour for Paul. You know, he said that he realizes that after being ahead of Blaine after night one, that Blaine would in fact come back as a stronger athlete, whether it be at this competition or future competitions down the road. And he said that motivates him to work even harder.
Doing this skill in the pike position makes it, I would say, logarithmically more difficult.
So we're logarithmic in the quadrennium. A big score for Paul Hamm that'll easily keep him in the lead by a huge margin. So after 4 rotations in the 6 that are today in the USA Gymnastics Championships, Paul Hamm has the lead over Blaine Wilson. And then, as you can see, the real battle here is now for bronze between Young, Townsend, and Hamm. Back at the Gund Arena, you were looking at a gold medalist, most likely, and a potential bronze medalist, Paul and Morgan Hamm. Now, Blaine Wilson has a couple of dilemmas. One, his knee, the other, his surgically repaired shoulder, and he's trying to hang on to second place in these USA Gymnastics Championships. And then you've got guard Young, who's also trying to factor into the gold, silver, and bronze equation here in Cleveland, Ohio. Guard is on the still rings.
He really struggled in trying to meet the code requirements in the prior code. Doing much better now.
What are you talking about?
Well, every 4 years, typically, they say they're not going to do it, but the FIG, which is the governing body of the sport worldwide, they get together and they figure out how to make a 10 totally impossible to get anymore. And when they do that, sometimes you come out of those meetings and you've got an athlete that it's like they just hit the lotto, because they can already do many of the things that are going to bring them the big points. And then you had a guy that was very top on an event, and all of a sudden all the stuff he used to do has no value. He struggled last time around, but it has paid off because he's much better for it right now.
continue my quest to search for an international federation that seems to be in touch with their sport. So guard Young is done. That leads us to Sean Townsend, the defending national champion. Has had a 9.5. He's had an 8.3, an 8.7. Up, down, and inconsistent today.
And you know, Sean came into this competition with huge plans to unveil a big time vault, but I'm sure he has opted, as he has again today, to do what he felt would be his more consistent vault.
Now, Tim, you've said that he seems to be a little bit off, a little bit tired. Is that mistake that he just made consistent with what you're saying?
Well, definitely. Every time you run down and have to do that vault, you have to be completely in the game. It's just too darn hard and a little bit scary. And he knows he is not fighting for that first place. And, you know, he just doesn't maybe fight for this landing, isn't as prepared as he would be if he were battling with Paul Hamm and Blaine right now. Yeah, this is not a good competition at all for Sean in any way. He, you know, I think he's tired.
9.0 for Townsend, 9.225 for guard Young. Looks like the edge will be with Morgan Hamm as we crunch the numbers here. Now, Blaine Wilson still in second place on the high bar. That's always exciting, especially with a gymnast like Blaine Wilson on it.
And he has a new routine, and in the first night of competition, to me, this was one of the highlights. He scored an incredible 9.9. He was just unbelievable on this event.
And I told Blaine a few years ago that he would never do a release like this in a big meet, and he
proves you wrong again.
He has completely proved me wrong. Always had a little bit of a fear on that type of an element. This routine is jam-packed with all of the elements and sequences that bring in the big bonus points, like right here, combining elements together, and he's got the big release.
Remember the knee on the dismount.
Double-double laid out.
Wow.
That's tough stuff right there. Wife Macari enjoying that with an ice cream cone, and Blaine Wilson shows us again the type of toughness that goes into a national champion. Forget about a 5-time national champion.
He has done a great job on this event.
Isn't it amazing sometimes in sport you learn more about an athlete or a team when they lose as opposed to when they win?
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's all about character, and high bar is all about guts, because you're learning that element right there. There's no way to learn that thing unless you are willing to land on the bar. You got to land on the bar a couple times, and that's really not all that enticing.
His motivation for being here is to help the U.S. win a gold in 2004.
How's that, Tim? How's high bar now? Is it all right? I think I fixed it.
Yeah, you did fix it, Blaine.
Tim, what is going on between the two of you?
Yeah, I told you, we're just a little bit of trash talking. Known this guy for a long time. He's a champion.
Yes, he is. And we'll be back to Cleveland in a moment.